Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I am very excited because lately I've been kind of pulling out my favorites. I filmed 2 videos recently talking about some holy grail products. I ranked my top 10 favorite foundations. I gave you my top 10 favorite lip swatches. We are here today to talk more about complexion. I'm going to share my favorite bronzers, my favorite blushes, and my favorite highlighters of all time. So if that's what you're into, you're in the right spot. But first, if you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, this is the place for you. If you're beauty obsessed, you want to talk about makeup, what's good, what's not, join the family. That's what we're here for. But why don't we go ahead? I'm going to talk about some makeup and let's just get started. Okay, so with my foundation and lipstick video, I did do the top 10 foundations and I ranked them, and then I did my top 10 favorite lip combos. So in my head, I was thinking I'll do my top 10 blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. But when I pulled out the products, it just so happened that I have 3 bronzers, 3 blushes, and 3 highlighters. And I just didn't want to pick a 4th just to kind of throw in there and make it 10. So we have my top 9. We're gonna go in order of like how I apply them on the face. So we will start with bronzers, and I do have videos of me applying each of these. However, I do not have myself applying the first one because this is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I have the shade Fair Medium, the Sculpt shade, not the highlighter. I don't care about the highlighter. This Sculpt shade. This palette is like maybe 8 years old, 6 to 8 years old. So the formula has gone bad. I no longer use the Sculpt shade, but when I used it, y'all, this is like, if you're looking for something that's going to sculpt your face but not be a cool toned contour, that's what this powder does for me. I liked to use a more dense brush. I used my Rephr 04. I would tap into it and I would put it on like the hollows of the cheeks where you would contour, but it's definitely more of a neutral shade. It's not too cool. It's definitely not warm, and it will chisel out my cheekbones and give me some definition and some shape without doing any bronzing or contour. Like literally just gives definition to the cheeks. And so a lot of times I would use this in addition to a bronzer, and the only reason why I stopped using this is because I noticed the texture changed, and when I would put it on my cheeks it would start to itch. But I mean, it's like 6 to 8 years old, so that's to be expected, right? So then I have 2 bronzers on my face today that are like my holy grail, top shelf, like my faves, right? So first up is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. 2 Charlotte Tilbury bronzers, imagine that. This is the matte bronzer, and I have the shade 2 Medium. I just wish that I could hit pan on this. I use it all the time. I don't understand. I've seen so many people with pan, and it's really not that deep, and I have not hit pan yet. But this one is a little bit warmer than the one that I just showed you from the Film Star Bronze and Glow, but I have to be very careful, y'all. I do not want orange and red bronzers because as a natural redhead, if I get one that is too orange or too red, I just feel like it doesn't look good, right? It's not the look that I'm going for. So I do really love this one in the shade number 2 because it's deep enough to give me a bronzy look, and it adds a little bit of warmth and makes my skin look a little bit sun-kissed, but it's not on the orange side. So really love that for myself. And then the third one that is a recent love of mine, the Charlotte Tilbury I've been using for years, but a recent love of mine is the one from Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer, and I have the shade Nude Honey. Now, if you go on the Pat McGrath website and you type in like whatever foundation you are, you can see which bronzer is kind of marketed for your skin tone. That's what I did. I don't think Nude Honey is on the Sephora website. At least it wasn't when I purchased it. I did have to go to Pat McGrath, but again, this one is great because it is a neutral bronzer. It's not gonna pull too warm, but it's not cool toned. It's very, very pigmented, very blendable, goes on nicely. It's a little bit lighter than the Charlotte Tilbury matte bronzer that I just showed you, but it gives me a nice bronzed look. It doesn't show up patchy. It has the longevity, and it's just everything I want in a bronzer. So those are my top 3 bronzers in shade, in formula. Let's move on to blushes, and I have a formula for one, but I'll show you my favorite shade too. But I mean, we're gonna stick with Mama Pat Pat McGrath blushes. I love them. I have several. I have repurchased them. This particular one, you can't get the trio anymore. It's the Divine Blush and Glow Trio in Galactic Sun, but I'm talking specifically about the blushes. And if I had to pick a favorite blush, it would be this one right here in the Divine Rose, because it is that like mauve shade that I know and love so much. But of course I have this one in Desert Orchid that is also in the palette. I have Nymphette. I have Nude Venus too. I love the Pat McGrath blush formula. The reason why I love it is because it is on the matte side. There's no shimmer, there are no chunks of glitter, nothing like that, but it's not a flat matte. It gives my skin a healthy sheen. I have dry skin. I don't really want anything like sparkly or shimmery in my blush, but I do want to look glowy, but I want it to look like a glow from within. And I feel like the Pat McGrath blushes really do that. I would say it's more of a buildable formula. Like I can go in with a more dense brush and I can kind of pat the color where I want it and then blend it out with my brush. I can build it up as need be. You're not going to go in too heavy-handed if you are someone who is a little bit heavier-handed with the blushes, but the Pat McGrath formula, it's my favorite. I love it so much. The blush that I am wearing today, it's bougie, y'all. But I'm bougie. If you ask my husband, he'll tell you I'm bougie. It's from Gucci, okay? This is like a $60 blush. This is the shade 05 Rosy Beige. It's the only Gucci blush shade that I have tried, but I love it so much. Again, it's similar to the Pat McGrath in the sense where it's not a flat matte. I look at it, it looks matte. It doesn't look like there's a sheen. But then I put it on my skin and it does give me a little subtle sheen. Nothing that's accentuating texture, nothing like glowy, there's no specks of glitter, but it just gives me a healthy looking sheen and it looks like I've just been kissed. Not by the sun, maybe by the winter cold, because the sun would be a little bit more warm tone, but that's beside the point. Anyway, I really, really love this shade in 05 Rosy Beige. And then one that has been a long time favorite of mine. I'm talking a long time favorite. It is from Buxom. This is the Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in the shade Seychelles. That's always hard for me to say when I'm like talking super fast. I love this one. This one, when you look at it, it does look like it's more of a satin finish. There is a little bit of a sheen to it. It's going to give you more of a healthy glow. This one is very long wearing. I got this one a few years ago, which actually now that I look at it, I don't really know that I should still be using this because there are some like bumps on it. I don't know. Anyway, that's beside the point. I've had this for several years now. I really love the color. I love the sheen that it gives. I love the healthy glow. Keep your eye out for these because well, it's not the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale anymore, but the Ulta, what are they calling it now? The semi-annual sale. That's where I got this during a 21 Days of Beauty sale, and I got it for like $11.50 or something like that, and it's totally worth it. Huge fan. Love the shade Seychelles. I had Dolly as well, but I ended up passing Dolly along. Really, really love Seychelles. It looks like it's gonna be nothing, y'all. I kid you not. When you look at it, it looks like it's gonna be boring and nothing, but it really shows up on the skin. Moving into highlighters. I need to start by saying I am not a subtle highlighter lover, but I don't want glitter. I don't want chunks of glitter. I don't want glitter all over the face. I am looking for like, I want to be a Twilight vampire. I am looking for my skin underneath is glowing and popping through and you can see it. Like you see here. So let's start with what is reflecting on my face right now. And it is this one from Rare Beauty. This is the Mesmerize highlighter. So I got kind of the more like pinky rose gold shade and I absolutely love this one. This one definitely is giving like my skin is glowing and the astronauts can see me in space, which is what I'm going for. No chunks of glitter, no specks of glitter, just bright, bold, in your face. I picked this up a year after their release because I kept hearing people talk about them. And I think that really is the true test of whether or not products are a favorite. If you think about it, of course, when there's a new release, all of us here on YouTube, we're getting it, we're trying it, we're telling you our first impression. But then a lot of times, I mean, we have large collections, so they kind of get like pushed off to the side, if you know what I mean. But this was one that the people were still talking about. So I picked it up a year later and zero regrets. Another one that I absolutely love so much because it does the same kind of thing is this one from Sigma Beauty. This is their highlighter in the shade Twilight. Now, Twilight is almost like a rose gold too, but a little bit more on the cooler side. It's not quite a pink. It's not quite a champagne. It's a little bit cooler and again gives me the same effect of we don't have chunks of glitter, we don't have specks of glitter, but we are glowing, we are beaming, we are glowing into outer space. Everybody can see us and I just absolutely Love, 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 love it. And if you are looking to purchase anything from the Sigma website, I am an affiliate, so I have a link and code down below. My code is just KBella, and you can save some money while you're shopping. Now, the highlighter that has been like in my top spot for so long, like I've had it longer than my other two highlighters, like it has just been a huge favorite for me, is the Natasha Denona Super Glow. This was the one that first introduced me to that really like bright beaming, but beaming from within. I used to love the Becca highlighters when those were around, Champagne Pop, like that was my jam. But the thing I feel like I remember from the Becca highlighters is you did kind of have some specks of glitter in there. And so my best friend Smags put me onto the Natasha Denona Super Glow. I have the shade 01 Fair because it is very icy, but it literally blends into the skin. Like it looks like my skin, but a healthier version, a more beaming version, like bright, you can see it. I really, really love this one. Again, I am fair skinned, so I do have the shade 01 Fair, but they also have a couple other shades if you are a little bit of a deeper skin tone. This is definitely not glittery, not sparkly, not chunky, but it's gonna make you glow. It's gonna make you glow. So that is it for blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. My top 9, okay? That's okay. I have other blushes, bronzers, and highlighters that I like and enjoy, but when we're thinking of like the top, like the best of the best, the holy grail, these are the ones. These are the ones that I gravitate towards, so I wanted to share them with you. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you tried any of these? Are you more of a subtle highlight kind of gal? Because if you are, drop your favorites down below. That's just not me, but I would love to know down below your thoughts if you are a subtle highlight gal. Otherwise, if you have some recommendations for me, I am always open. That's gonna do it for this video though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely check out my foundation video and my lipstick video. I will have them listed down below if you have not already seen those, but that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.